Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Hey everybody, it's April 1st here at Giga-Texas, and I was originally going to do a little bit of fun things like talking about Optimus, all of the development that's happened since Bumblee Bee is being scrapped, and they've decided to go back to the original design because it's just so iconic, and they figure that's going to be the way to win the market. But I decided that since this is a momentous day with the Artemis program and the launch returning humans back to the moon for the very first time, I didn't want to confuse things too much with kind of fun and just taking advantage of the 1st of April holiday or event. So instead I thought what I would do here is kind of blend a grand tour video showing you much of the outer reaches of Giga-Texas's property, flying to the very far north, showing you the development on that north campus, the work on extending River Road on the southeast side, and of course the test track that is in development over on the far southwest side, and it is definitely taking shape. Also some other views south of the Colorado River, some areas that are being developed that aren't directly Giga-Texas but related to the factory, and all of the infrastructure that's being brought in to support the factory. So it is a wide-ranging flight that I did today, and then I thought I would blend that with some close-in shots so we get a better view of what's going on over at Cortex II, over at the crash test facility, and also over at the outbound lot. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of correct or update is that this is a production down week, and so is next week here at Giga-Texas. However, there has been some production of Cybertrucks, and that is a little bit of a new development. It's something I'm expecting to ramp up this month to be able to have the deliveries beginning sometime in late May or June for those orders for that 59,990 Cybertruck promotion that really went well, and they had a lot of orders for that. So it looks like they are doing work to gear that line back up, and we are seeing more Cybertrucks on the outbound lot that I've seen in a while, and this should be the beginning of a lot more. Of course, the Cybercab, they're still getting ready for that production to start now that we are in April. There's just 3 over the outbound lot. That just indicates that they've been shipped off site for more of that testing. But the nice thing is that they are parked right next to a Cybertruck. So I'm able to give you a couple of views from the top down comparing the scale between the Cybertruck and the Cybercab, just to kind of put that into perspective. Over at the crash test facility on the north end, they still have that refreshed Tesla Semi, and it hasn't moved since it arrived a couple of days ago, but it is the first of the refreshed semis that are here. And of course, the production for that is gearing up. We're going to see that later this year. The factory out of Nevada is almost ready, and the run rate for that should be up to 50,000 per year. So we should see a lot more of these semis. So without further ado, let's get in the drone. Let's do this combination grand tour around the larger site and then some closer in views of some particular areas that I know people are interested in. And also, again, this is the day that we're expecting the launch of Artemis II to the moon. So, you know, take a look at that, spread the word. Hopefully we'll see that launching this afternoon, and you know, give your strong prayers and hopes for a very successful mission. This is important for our space program. So without further ado, let's get in the drone, fly around, and see what Giga-Texas looks like today.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. Well, good morning. It's the April 1st morning here at Giga-Texas. Low clouds, good day to fly. And of course, with the Artemis mission, I decided today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Also, so I could get back and honestly follow what's going on with the launch. So I thought I would do a grand tour with some details. And we also get a chance to see some pretty big developments that are heading up on the north side. So right now we are flying north of Giga-Texas. We're between the two kind of lanes, the highway, part going to the north that you can see, part going to the south behind the drone. And we're over a TxDOT construction site and where they keep some of the materials. Looking out, we can see the batch plant, also where the landscaping materials and the rental equipment lot was moved to at the bottom right of the screen. And coming into view is this large North Campus location. You can get a good idea of the construction site that's underway and also the Lone Tree Field at the top of the screen and the middle and bottom of the screen, just how much more land there actually is. Also more on the left-hand side of the screen than what we are just seeing with the construction site. So as large as what is being built right now in that large rectangular field, there is still plenty of room here at Giga-Texas for even more development. And that'll be something that we will watch as the year progresses. But right now, the big news is what is going on directly ahead of the drone. You can tell that they have been putting in work with the grade. They've been bringing in various materials. Some of it's the crushed up granite or concrete. Some of it is gravel that they brought in. Some of it is topsoil that's also been brought in from around the site and in some cases off-site to prepare that grade for construction. And today we're going to see the first signs of that construction underway, or at least being delivered, and I'm really excited to be able to show you that. But first, looking across from this north side on through the site down to the main factory, you can see that construction site on the right, the large rectangular tree-lined area in the middle, and the large field on the left with Lone Tree. And as I maneuver the drone a little lower, wanted to take a look at the tree debris removal that is coming to view at the bottom center left of the screen. And much of that has been removed. Some of it has been mulched, and more work continues here. Now, across this old sand and gravel mine, hills and valley section, where you can see some of that dirt work that has been done. They've also done some soil testing throughout this location. Maybe we'll see some construction here, but the big news here as we get in closer and lower is the arrival of the first GeoPier equipment. We can see some of that at the bottom of the screen. We just passed. We can also see these 4 drilling rigs, some other equipment, and all of this is just now starting to be delivered on site. Give you a closer view what is going on. Now, GeoPiers, what they do is they'll drill a large bore with this machinery. Then they'll bring some gravel mix, and then they'll pour it down into that bore, and then they will compact it so that they can actually make piers. And they will do these in various formations that will support the footings for construction. And with the equipment just now arriving, I would expect to see more of this. We're going to see some small bobcats that'll be used for the gravel. We'll most likely see large piles of gravel brought in, and that will support the pier development. And we also will see the grade continuing to be improved and prepared for the pier drilling all the way through this location. The black kind of silt fences that outline around the construction site shows where major construction will be done and areas where they're going to try to prevent the kind of the spread of the dirt and any kind of overland flooding through that location, and kind of defining where that construction site is. You can tell that there are a lot more construction on the left with earthwork and the access road here next to this kind of that tree belt with the hills and valleys. And I'll just look back towards this site from the south east, looking to the northwest. And this is just really great to see this level of activity. Coming into view on the right is the old equipment lot, the rental equipment lot. You can see the concrete on the ground. Some of that's being used for materials now, and also a recycling operation near the tree line. At the bottom of the screen coming into view is where River Road's extension will enter into the Lone Tree field. And as I pan around back towards the main factory, the bottom center of the screen is where that road will continue through. A lot of earthwork to prepare for that road extension, and the tree removal kind of defines where that's going to be. What's going to happen to this pond? Not really sure, but it really looks like they're going to have to fill that in for that road construction. And at the center of the screen is more of the infill being brought in today for preparation for that road. And we'll get closer views of that at lower altitude later in the video. As we continue to fly over the Colorado River towards the south, a good look across the east side of the activity and some of the development, and also dirt and hill removal for the road extension. We can see at the center of the screen more dirt that has been brought in. Some of this is coming in from the far southwest area where the test track is located. More of the blue pipes are arranged, ready for the trench work, which we can see underway here. And also that large pond in the center of the screen that's being prepared for some of that water drainage and water management for the site. As we continue to fly along this side of the Giga-Texas property, looking back across the main factory to downtown, we're going to continue to follow along the Colorado River just to look at all of this tree line. And this is where that river park is going to be built. And as I mentioned before, there's a new permit that has kind of set aside 28 acres for more construction throughout this location that'll be distributed all along the river road as that is continued. And I expect to see more permits with more acreage as time goes on. Great view of the southeast corner of the factory where that earthwork has been underway. They are filling back in the trench and getting ready to fill in some of the concrete to repair that apron. And I will kind of finish up here at the south bridge, looking back across the main factory. And then we're going to proceed further to the south and see what is going on the other side of the Colorado River. Now, this is not part of Giga-Texas property. It ends at the Colorado River, but there is construction being done along Falwell Lane. That's the road on the left-hand side of the screen with more pipe work, and that is extending over towards this bridge where they will be extending the Falwell Lane, and that work is coming to view on the left. And also we have this water management system and a kind of a lined concrete pond that they have built in. There's also the caissons that have passed through this location, connecting all along the west side of the highway. As I follow along the new Falwell Lane, you can see where it's got this intersection with roads coming towards the drone and more coming off to the left. The bottom of the screen is more foundations for apartments, and you can see what they will look like on the left-hand side of the screen. This, along with some industrial buildings that are being added onto this part of the property or the site, is in support of and caused by the construction of Giga-Texas. It's bringing in a lot of people, a lot of industry, and a lot more business to this part of the city. And this is just to the east of Austin. This is called Del Val, and this whole area is really rapidly developing, and that's part of a multi-year program that Austin has had to try to develop this location on the east side of Austin. As we get back onto Giga-Texas property, I'll bring the drone over towards River Road. A great view of the test track, how it's coming along. See that inner oval, and then another roadway being built. I've had some viewers want me to say that those are chicanes. And I've had a couple of viewers that tried to say that it's pronounced chicanes, but it's not. It's actually chicanes. And this road work that they are doing also is requiring some more dirt to be removed to flatten out the grade. And then that interior roadway with the chicanes are going to kind of go east to west in the middle of this large oval. Much of this dirt that is being excavated here, put into the center dump trucks, is being transported over to the east side for that river road extension by the Colorado River. So I'll keep the drone down here lower for a moment, let you get a good look at the work that is going underway here today. And then I'm going to bring the drone up. We'll go over that material staging yard and take a look what's going on at the outbound lot, where there are some developments with Cybertrucks. Now, I was told that production was at a pause this week and next week for General Assembly, certainly for the Model Ys, and it was kind of suggested that would be the case for Cybertrucks. However, as we can see with the evidence right in front of us, all throughout this west side of the outbound lot, and as I turn back to the south end, even more Cybertrucks are being produced. Now, this is most likely in preparation for bringing the line back up to nearly full operation to meet the demand that was generated with that 59,900 Cybertruck promotion that was run about a month and a half ago. It was well received, a lot of orders, and now they are preparing for meeting those orders. It's going to take more than a year and a half to just fulfill all the orders that came in, so that's pretty neat. Now, I'm going to bring the drone back up to a higher altitude. We're going to fly over this kind of industrial area and housing. Directly below us is a nursery and some other equipment and maintenance facilities. As we cross over Farm to Market 973, I wanted to show you this part of the site. This is part of Giga-Texas. It's about the only part that is on the west side of the highway, that 973 that we see in the right-hand side of the screen. This has been used for a lot of dirt that's been used throughout the construction on Giga-Texas. This had a lot of these linear hills and ponds. You can kind of see a perimeter, almost a moat around this location, but all of the hills, all of the valleys throughout this location have been mostly removed as they've been getting a lot of that fill dirt from here. And this is what it looks like now, and a great view across 973 over to the main factory, so you have a really good idea of where we are located. I've had some people ask about all the ponds here and whether or not that causes mosquito issues. I would say that when the factory first started building its construction, there were a lot more of those ponds, and at that time it was kind of a nuisance. But with all of the construction, the removal of most of the ponds, it really is not that big of an issue anymore. As we continue to fly to the north of this part of the site, we're looking across the Lone Star Asphalt and Concrete Manufacturing Company. That section is not part of Giga-Texas, but coming into view on the left-hand side of the screen and some of this field and everything behind the drone all the way up to Farm to Market 969, which kind of is the northern boundary of Giga-Texas. All of that is also part of the Tesla property here at the factory. But I'm going to continue to work my way back to the south to the main factory. We're going to cross over State Highway 130. We're going to resume on the other side by Tesla Road. And then I want to give you some detailed looks at what's going on at the switchyard and Cortex 2. We come in closer, a good look at the 2 megapacks on this side of the site, the expanded electrical switchyard. The gray kind of closer to us is the original, and then we can see that large lighter tan color location of the switchyard that has been expanded, doubling in size the original construction. here on the north is that what was once a mobile batch plant to make concrete. It's been turned into a semi-permanent one, and this is fulfilling much of the needs for concrete around Giga-Texas, also some of the local area. Of course, below here, the drone in the center is that relocated offices and some of the maintenance facilities for the rental equipment. Also, they all have some landscaping materials and offices in this location, and we can see some of that on the roadway below the drone. I'm going to approach it back in from the north to the south at the electrical switch yard, bring the drone down lower. We can see this new roadway that is being built, kind of going left to right on the screen. That is most likely to allow further access up to that batch plant, because there's probably some work that's going to be done on the right-hand side or the west side of the switchyard that may compromise that access point. So this is what that is looking like right now. We can see some darker material outlining what that roadway looks like. As I turn back towards the electrical switchyard, you see crews on man lifts doing some more work with cable and steel assembly and installation. One of them is on this new A-frame, and a good look at what they are working on here today, getting ready for this to be coming online soon. As we kind of maneuver here over these wooden crates with the red tops, we can see that crews are assembling some of the items in those crates onto that transformer, and some additional steel work is underway here too. The separating walls are already in place. Steel structures just to the south of the transformers are mostly in place as well, and now they have to do the connections so that that will be operational. When this comes fully online, I'm not really sure, but I will continue to monitor that, and we'll figure that out as we get further into the year. Some of the materials here look like they've been moved away, especially those white covered boxes. Most of them are now away from where the flooring is being stored for Cortex II, and I'll continue to watch that to see when that is being moved inside. As we get closer to Cortex II, a nice look at the first half of the megapacks on this side and all the electrical connections and equipment. On the south side, this is what it looks like today. Still, it looks like maybe a pond on the south end. No real indications of tanks on the outside of the building at this point in time. I'll fly south to north, looking to the east on the west side of Cortex II, just so you get a good view from this vantage point of all of the screw-type piers on the ground, where we're going to see more of the megapacks, the transformers and electrical equipment, mimicking what we see at the top right of the screen, but more than doubling the number of megapacks once those are installed. As I stay above the tree line, good view towards the battery cathode plant and the groundwork between the plant and Cortex II. One of the tanks here for the earth moving equipment at the bottom right of the screen, some more plumbing at the bottom of the screen, and of course trench work in the middle on the left hand side of the screen, in the middle between the Cortex and the battery cathode plant. As I bring the drone down lower, we'll get a good view of that trench work, the trench boxes, and some of the filling in of the trenches that is happening right now. We also see that more of the fiber reinforced polymer beam installation has been made on these first two sections of the eventual 6 sections for the plant part 2 for cooling of Cortex II. Of course, these superstructures that are being added will eventually hold the fan units on the top of the structure, very similar to what we see coming into view with the part 1 in the upper right-hand side of the screen. I'm going to stay over the parapet wall, look over the megapacks, the electrical systems, the temporary chillers and those trailers and connecting pipes, to show you the first that I've seen is one of the fans is actually operational. Now, this is most likely in testing for now, but it is a great visual indication that they are getting closer and closer to having the cooling system with the temporary addition on the ground with the trailers ready to go. Sometime this month, now that we're in April, is where we expect to see the initial operation of Cortex II. At least that was the last guidance that we had from Tesla. And from what I can tell on the outside, they are getting very close to being able to do that. What's going on the inside is still hard to know. Of course, they'll be having to bring in the cabinetry and all of the computer systems, but I'm assuming that that is proceeding along those timelines. We're going to come back over at a lower altitude to the east side over some of the workshops and materials, this tree belt location, to this hill, which is continuing to be removed, as we've talked about before, this large hill, and then later on the debris that was put on top of the hill mostly predates Giga-Texas. It is now being methodically removed, the concrete and other debris recycled, and this is in preparation for River Road to extend through this area. At the bottom of the screen, all of this new infill dirt is what's being brought from that southwest corner, the test track, to fill in the grade. And it also gives us a good outline of where River Road is going to proceed through this location. Of course, where all the trailers are, the East Warehouse on Wheels, and the equipment that is all stored there is where that advanced technology fab for the chip development will be constructed. I'm going to pivot back towards the north a little over this dirt pile at the bottom left of the screen to give us a better look at the fill operation that is going on here in preparation of continuing that River Road extension through this location. At the bottom center of the screen, we can see those 4 outlet pipes, and it's running underneath where the road will travel over. That's helping with the drainage throughout this part of the site. And here's a good view of the work here underway. A truck is bringing more debris or more road dirt materials, sorry about that, for the road, and it's getting ready to dump that here, and it'll be spread with that bulldozer. Now, a lot of the work here is not only preparing the grade for the roadway, but it's also raising the grade up. And I've had some people ask about flooding concerns throughout this location. It's actually one of the very first things that I covered almost 6 years ago about the floodplain and some of the surveying here. With all of the grade work that they've done throughout the site and what we see continuing, it is making that far less likely. As we get over towards the crash test facility, I'm zoomed in, show you the Cybercabs that are along this fence line. Some of them have had car covers put on because they've been having some testing, and some of the body panels are removed. The refreshed Tesla Semi is still here. In my last video, it had just arrived, and it looks like it has not moved in the last 48 hours. But here's a closer view of this. I've had some people ask, is this the same one Jay Leno did his review on? I don't think so. It's hard to tell, but they are starting to make more and more of these. And here is clearly another one. And I think this is the short range version, just because of the length of the cab. I may be wrong on that, and I'm sure my viewers will let me know in the comments if I am off on that. But good view of that semi with all the Cybercabs around it and at the crash test facility. So as we get ready to end the video, I'll bring the drone up to a higher altitude. We'll kind of maneuver around and show you all of the places that we visited, also to help put into context where this is located. And in addition to that, just some of the work that is underway to prepare the site for the expansion that we're expecting, everything from Cortex II, the Optimus factory, the fab for the chips on the east side, the test track at the far top of the screen, and everything in between. So I hope that you enjoyed this a little bit different type of video and the approach that I use for today's flight. And also just look for the Artemis launch later today. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and have a great day.